The Opus is for sale. DO35 hitch, ARC 750 jockey wheel, gas bottle with the Opus drawer there. We've got it set up with a CXF 395 litre fridge. Pull it out. So that's the biggest fridge that you can get for the Opus. In here we have the Redarc Redvision panel and a custom made bezel as well. So air pump on and off, fuse, air pump start. Got your RCD there for your 240 volts, and we have these permanently mounted and powered USB-C, so that even when the van's off you can still charge your phone. With the Redarc Redvision we can turn things on, like your pump for the shower, pump for the kitchen, your 12 volts, so all of your 12 volt accessories like USBs, your fridge, so you turn that one on there. As you can see, the fridge powers up, hasn't been turned on for a while, so you'll cool down. Don't need it on, turn the fridge off. We've got our internal fans, which I'll show you when we set up. Scroll down the page, we've got our stereo, we've got our floodlights, got the inverter, and we have our rock lights. Rock lights are underneath the wheel arches here. They're made by a company called Steady, and they allow us to go down the trails at night time and see wheel placement. So we turn them off. The lights up here, these are Steady as well. They're amber lights, so we can set up without mosquitoes. And what they allow us to do is, when you pull up at night time, you can put the boat rack up and you have a mast of lights that it allows you to set up. Stereo, self-explanatory. We've upgraded the internal stereo. It's a DS18 600 watt amplifier, Rockford Fosgate M1 internal speakers with LED lights, and we've also put the Rockford Fosgate. These are wakeboard tower speakers. They're the M28 HB horns. They retail for about $3,000. They're 300 watt RMS output each, but we're currently only running about 100 watts output. But they're also on the boat mask, and they come up, and we'll show you how it goes together. So that is there. Other mods, obviously, we've got custom decals. I made them in white. That has to be replaced in black. I do have it, but obviously need a Sparky to put it in properly. We've changed to the different caps. So these all lock in with the ones that's supplied by Opus. They're red ones that go internal. When you push them in, it allows these to leak. These ones here, they go on the outside, and those rings remain locked. Gas bayonet fitting, there's nothing different in the kitchen, it's all the same, just different hoses for the drain. Spare wheel, custom decals, tinted tail lights as well. Only a very light tint on those, 5%, just to change the look. Boat rack, and obviously all the wiring. In here we have it's a brand new hot tap 2.0. It's a leveler, fan, hoses. That's the old leveling device, ELAM. The batteries go flat, so we stop using it and we've changed to a savvy level. And the savvy level is mounted in the drawbar, just there. You need to mount these as close as you can to the front of the vehicle, so that when you are in the car, your phone actually gets signal from it. We've also put the chain onto the fridge, and that means these wires don't get caught up when you push the fridge in and out. This fridge isn't staying. We are taking that fridge back, and we're going to put in the old CFX50 fridge, because that's $2,000. The CFX50 is about $1,000. We're keeping the speakers as well, so pretty much my job today is to take these speakers off, take the wiring out, remove that fridge and put the other fridge back into it, and get it ready for sale. We had the outside detailed professionally yesterday, come up pretty good, and we've already done the inside, but I'm still going to get in there today and put the solar panels back inside, just go over everything and make sure it's nice and clean, so the people that pick it up can enjoy it the way we did. Alright, let's put this fridge away and we'll start pulling it out. So we've got the saver level here. We can see that the van's up in the air as per the bubble meter as well, so we're going to wind it down. As you can see in the savvy, it's adjusting. It's not real time, but it's pretty quick. We've got the new Savvy 4 on the caravan now, and it is real time. Alright, so that's now level. Alright, we'll start by removing the safety pins on the boat rack. And when we undo these clips here, what I do is actually rotate them 90 degrees. That way when you go around the back to pull it up, they don't get caught on the latches. So now they're undone, we will walk around to the back of the camper and we'll remove the safety pins from the boat rack upper assemblies. So they just undo and they slide out. One on each rack. Once they're undone, I place my foot up on the tyre to give myself leverage and I pull back. Now with the speaker pods on, they weigh an additional 20 kilos, so it is a bit heavier. But without them on there though, it's quite light. Once it's up, you then put the safety pins back into place because this rack can swing down to the ground. So you have to hold it steady while you put these pins back in. We just gently push down there on the right hand side to get that pin to slot into place. Alright, so we undo the top, and what I do here is actually unwind these pins. So when it comes time to put the lids back on, you have more leverage, I suppose is the word, length of rod, that way you're not trying to pull it down too tight. Then come around the other side and we undo this clip as well. Again, unwinding it all the way through so the thread's not exposed anymore. We then lift the lid, fold it over, drop it down onto the stone guard rack. You pull the rope out, undo this pin and secure this behind the latch. Lock the latch down in place, that way the lid can't come up in the wind. We then pull the edges of the canvas over the top and secure it in place. Do both corners on the top. And then we move on to the rear. Undo the latch, unwind the rod. You need these two safety pins because what they do is actually support the rear of the bed frame. So drop your spare wheel down, pull your bars out, lay them in like an X pattern, put your clips there ready to go for when you pull the lid over. Undo this side. And then you grab a bar in one hand and the pin in the other hand, and you have to line up the holes and slot the pin through. And this is your rear bed support, or your main bed support. This is the end that my wife and I sleep on, because it's where the king bed extension exists, so you have more room. Secure those in place. Again, do your corners. Do your center rope. Last corner. Alright, then we're going to pull the annex out. So we still use the full annex. And you grab it from the middle. Pull it out, lay it on the ground, stretched out and flat. Alright, so we've secured this end, and then while we're there we do up the valves. And so what I do with these valves is as I do them up I actually zip them so that way I know they're done. Now on the front there's 7, so we count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the one everyone misses, by the way. 5, 6, 7. That's the front done. Now I'll lay this one down and actually hook it up later on once I know where it's going to sit. Then come to the back of the camper and we have to do another 5. So screw it in and zip it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all the valves done up. Now we can walk around and we go underneath the awning and we have to turn the isolator valve, open it up. Because right now if we pump it up the annex won't inflate. So you grab the outer ring and you turn it anti-clockwise and you just open it up until it starts to spin on itself. Once that's done, you move to your air panel, turn on your air pump switch and then press the momentary on switch. The pump will then turn on and you can see here it's drawing about 9.5 amps when it's running, and it will inflate until the entire canvas reaches around about 7 psi. So we then find our way back out of the annex and then we'll stand back and watch it inflate. Once the annex gets full of air enough to support itself, we go back under there and just help to prop it up. That way we're not letting the pump do all the work. So how long does it take to pump up? Look, from this point onwards it's around about 8 minutes. So we're starting the clock here at 9 minutes and 20 seconds. So at the 2-minute mark, we can just see some air starting to go into the main part of the Opus and building slight pressure. So it's starting to lift there, both ends. I'm just going to pull this open more to give the annex straighter, and to make the beams straighter to allow airflow. Both sides are starting to rise, and we just passed the 3-minute mark. So from here, we're just going to feel our annex and just see if we got pressure in the beams, and with enough pressure, we'll go underneath. And as we approach the 4-minute mark, we will start to help the annex to stand up. So we're walking through here, and we're just assisting it to stand up and get airflow into these beams. Some of them will have no pressure yet, because the pressure has to flow through multiple valves to get to it. So the main thing you can do is support the centre of the annex, and then from the centre, where the main airflow comes through, is gradually walk the wave to both sides and help it to stand up. You'll see this one here's got, it's not standing on its own just yet, but as we assist it, the air flows into the beam and it pressurises. It's 4 minutes now, and the annex is just about ready to stand up on its own. You can see there that pipe's semi-kinked, so if you can make that pipe unkinked, it will flow better air. And then from here you can see how the whole thing's still not straight, so we make sure all the annex is straight at the doors, and then when you walk back outside you can see that it's kind of leaned over. You want it to be not 90 degrees but upright as much as you can. We'll get a different angle here for you in a second and show you what we mean. So we're just going to pull it now so it's standing up a bit better. It's almost 5.5 minutes. We'll walk back outside and we'll watch the top of it come up and pressurise. It's 6 minutes. And there we go, that's the pump we needed. And then the pump will continue to run now until the entire air beams reach 7 psi. In the meantime, you walk around and just make sure it's all straight, and you'll hear the actual pump turn off. When the pump turns off, it's time to go inside. Open up the fridge drawer. unfold the stairs. These ones are covered in hydro turf to make them non-slip. One of the things we've done ourselves. The kitchen is still locked, but we'll get to that later on. Now with the door, you've got these buttons on here, the press studs. You simply just line up the press studs and affix the door panel to it. If you do it now, it just means everything will line up better as you go inside and open it all up. So undo the main door canvas. You'll see the fly screen's actually not done up. When you are packing away the canvas, it's actually easier just to close the main canvas and not try and do the fly screen as well. So open up this door and we just simply roll it back on itself and we pin it back onto the main canvas. And there's 3 tabs here, the bottom tab, middle tab and top tab. Right, there's a Jawco shower tent, and normally the Jawco shower tent can either go underneath the boards or it has to go up there. We've got our air vents for ventilation. We normally leave them open the whole time. And with these cushions, the best thing you do is just pull them out of your way to give yourself access to the floor, and then you can arrange the cushions in the table the way it needs to go. So at the moment, both our solar panels actually aren't in here because we didn't take them on the last trip, but normally both solar panels would also live in here as well, which does make packing it up a little bit tighter. Normally when both panels come in here, the Jawco shower tent actually doesn't live in here, it lives outside of the main rack. There's our lagoon table leg. Turn off the isolator valve, that way the air beams don't deflate. And then we turn on the main isolator valve, that way if something does happen to the annex, the main tent doesn't deflate. So these are our king bed extension cushions, which are your main couch and your 2 seats. So push these out of the way now. Inside this drawer, also before you get in there, these beams, see how they're not sitting properly? We just push them into place. And look at all 4 and make sure they're all sitting in place, otherwise things don't line up properly with the cushions. That one there's good. One behind there's good. Now see these gaps here, they're air gaps. There's actually cushions called bug blockers in here, which go in from the outside on a Velcro tab, and they stop the bugs from coming through those gaps. I normally put them on last. Right, in this drawer here we have the 2 smaller cushions. These can be used for headrests. Or they can be used for what we're going to do, which is gives ourselves access to the main bed all the time. So we slide this into place. You can see there's a recess there which goes around the main air beam. Those 2 cushions will go just below that. We'll put the corner cushions in for now. Just going to sit this down here for the time being. That's not going to go where it is, but you'll see how it slots into place. And with these cushions, the smaller bit goes up the top. Always do your corners first, that way everything else goes into place.
And we then kick this back into where it needs to sit. Push it down to the Velcro tabs, then drop the 2 smaller cushions into that gap. Now there is a bigger cushion for that if you want to use it. We don't leave it in the van because we want to be able to crawl on the bed when we feel like it. That's your main back. It's the other side back. Kick that into place, drop your seat into place. Do the other side. Right, then we'll affix our lagoon table leg. And if you can see from the placement of the floor here, it's actually mine's offset so that you can get up into the bed. You do these up so this table leg's firm. It's quite tricky, this little ratcheting lever. You've got to pull it out to disengage and then let it go to engage and wind it forward. And, normally when I undo it, I undo it once, but when my wife undoes it, she undoes it a million times. And we then drop the leg into place. And we just do the lever up one turn just to make it firm, and that allows it to support. As you can see, it goes out of the way so you have full access to the bed. You can then pull it into the middle so everyone can have a meal. You can turn it that way if you want to play a board game or something. And then if you want to drop it into this hole here, you can jump up in the bed and put your laptop or your iPad there and watch TV from the table. So there we go, back out of the way, and that way you can just go straight up to the bed with nothing in your way. Alright, Rockford Fosgate speakers, LED lights, it's on the switch panel down there. Go back outside to the Redvision system and we turn on the internal lights. So that's our master control for the dimmer switch. There's an outside dimmer and an inside dimmer, and I've also wired up the Rockford Fosgate LEDs so they'll also go into the same dimmer switch. You can make those speakers any colour you want, but I chose white to keep with the aesthetics of the Opus. Pull the shower tin out of the way, and these are more USB, so we've got the standard USB there to your left, and then the USB-Cs, which we've added in addition to the factory ones. And so you can charge your USB devices or anything requiring a new USB-C. And they're on the 12-volt switch internal. So you can see there when you press the little switch on the side, we can actually get what voltage they are. They're reading 13.1. There's also another one down here next to the bed, so you can charge your phone at night time. We've got your LED strip lights on the roof, and they're on the dimmer switch here. You have 2 dimmers, one for this side and one for the other side next to the bed. That one's not plugged in right now, but it sits down there next to the other USB. Inside here is the 2 lithium batteries. These are 115 amp hour each. There's a Redarc shunt, and then inside here is the Redarc TVMS Redarc 2000 watt inverter and the Redarc Manager 30, as well as our 900mm ceiling fans. So I'll pull these out, I'll assemble these, and I'll show you where I put them. There's an amplifier for the stereo. That's also the mover controller behind there as well. And we have the C-Flow quiet high flow pumps. Inside this cabinet here is another 230 amp hour lithium battery. That gives us a combined total of 460 amp hours of lithium. They will run that inverter for quite some time, but because they've only got 100 amp discharge, they'll only allow you to use 1000 watts of the actual inverter. We bought an oversized inverter to future-proof it. But all we want to run though is a toaster and a small kettle. So there's our ceiling fans mounted up to the ceiling. We've just used like a tie-down strap, wrapped around the air beams, and then we put them onto the switch here with the internal fan switch. And here goes the fans. And they move some serious air. Alright, that's our list of mods. And, as you can see, we've come a long way. So I hope the new owners are going to enjoy our Opus. Thanks for watching.